Airlines have been quietly reshaping the rules behind the scenes, and if you're 65 or older, the biggest shift in your travel rights is unfolding right now as we move into late 2025 and throughout 2026. What most travelers don't realize is that these new airport and airline standards were specifically created to make flying safer, easier, and more dignified for seniors. But almost nobody has been told what actually changed because every update hides a revenue opportunity. When passengers stay unaware, it becomes far simpler for airlines to charge for comfort you already qualify for or hold back assistance that should have been provided automatically. Once you understand these 12 updated protections and the exact ones airlines hope remain quietly ignored, everything about your airport experience transforms. Security becomes calmer, boarding becomes less chaotic, seat assignments make more sense. Mobility support finally becomes consistent instead of unpredictable. And most importantly, you begin traveling with a level of confidence most seniors never realized they were entitled to from the start. So today I'm breaking down the hidden airport playbook for late 2025 and all of 2026, and showing you how a few precise phrases can unlock real benefits the moment you walk into the airport. Let's get started. Rule 1. New TSA Medical Exemption Rules 2025 to 26. For a huge number of senior travelers, the security checkpoint is the most exhausting part of the entire trip. Trays everywhere rushing to unpack medical items and explaining private health details in front of strangers. But heading into late 2025 and throughout 2026, TSA quietly expanded its medical exemption policy, giving passengers over 65 significantly more protection than most officers mention out loud. If you carry a CPAP machine, insulin, blood pressure or heart medication, liquid nutrition, or any medically necessary device, you no longer have to remove these items from your bag. Not a single item. This updated rule gives you faster screening, less physical strain, and far more privacy. Most seniors are still treated with old procedures simply because many officers' training hasn't caught up yet. These updated exemptions also reduce your risk of contamination or damage to sensitive equipment, especially CPAP components and liquid medications that can spill or be mishandled during manual screening. The truth behind the scenes is simple. Many TSA officers still fall back on older routines simply because their updated medical exemption training hasn't fully rolled out nationwide. That's why some agents still ask seniors to unpack items that are now completely exempt from removal. But under the revised medical necessities policy, every traveler over 65 is automatically protected. No special paperwork, no pre-approval. You just need the correct phrasing. Before your belongings reach the belt, calmly say, "I'm using the updated TSA medical exemption for health and mobility items." If an officer hesitates or looks unsure, a quick printed or digital screenshot of TSA's medical items page clears everything up within seconds. Your key line is short and powerful. My medical devices are exempt under the 2025 TSA medical policy. Use this phrase once and the entire screening flow becomes smoother, faster, and far more respectful. Rule 2. Senior boarding secret. Boarding is often the most hectic moment of any flight. Crowded gates, passengers rushing forward, overhead bins disappearing, and seniors trying to keep pace. But entering late 2025 and throughout 2026, boarding rules expanded quietly in a way most travelers over 65 never learn about. If you have any mobility challenge, mild arthritis, a hip replacement, a stiff knee, difficulty standing for more than a few minutes, You now qualify for assisted or priority boarding even without requesting wheelchair service. The advantage is huge. You board early, secure overhead storage without stress, and settle into your seat before the chaotic rush begins. Airlines keep this buried under special service requests, which is why gate agents rarely mention it unless you use the right language. When you approach the counter, say, "I'd like to add a special service request for assisted boarding." This places a quiet note on your reservation, sliding you into Group 1 or Group 2 without elite status, without upgrades, and without paying a single extra dollar. If you use a cane walker or a rolling aid, mentioning it during check-in helps the system auto-flag your reservation too. Your key activation phrase, "Can you add the assisted boarding note to my reservation?" One simple request instantly transforms boarding from stressful to peaceful. Rule 3, free companion assistance upgrades. One of the biggest fears seniors have when flying is getting separated from the person they rely on, a spouse, partner, or adult child. But in late 2025 and continuing through 2026, updated accessibility regulations created a powerful protection. If you qualify for mobility or medical assistance, your companion is entitled to stay with you through security, waiting areas, and boarding, even if their boarding group is totally different. The hidden benefit is comfort and confidence. Instead of navigating unfamiliar spaces alone or waiting anxiously at each checkpoint, both of you move together from the check-in counter all the way to the aircraft door. This protection comes from strengthened amendments to the Air Carrier Access Act, which now requires airlines to maintain companion continuity for seniors receiving mobility support. Because airlines rarely mention this, you must activate it yourself. At check-in, simply say, "We're traveling together and I'm under mobility assistance. Please link our boarding for companion continuity." Even if your companion is on a completely separate booking, gate agents can still merge your boarding groups. And under the new rules, they must honor the request when it's tied to mobility or age-based needs. Your key phrase, "Can you link my companion under the mobility assistance rule?" One sentence ensures you stay together the whole way. Rule 4, wheelchair cart secret. Nothing frustrates senior travelers more than this. You request a wheelchair at check-in, and then you're left stranded at security or abandoned near the gate with no idea who's coming next. This happens because airports outsource wheelchair services to contractors. One worker hands you to another and another, leaving long, stressful gaps nobody warns you about. But here's the shift almost no one knows. Late 2025 and 2026, accessibility updates changed the system completely. Airports must now provide continuous mobility support. That means once you ask for assistance, you are supposed to be escorted from check-in all the way to your aircraft seat. No drop-offs, no lonely waiting areas, no confusion. To activate it, be clear and direct. Tell the airline rep. Can you coordinate continuous mobility service from check-in through boarding? That exact wording triggers a higher service tier designed to avoid handoffs and keep one escort with you. Here's the insider upgrade. If you book 48 hours in advance, you can request a through chair escort, a personal guide who stays with you from curb to seat. Just say, "Please mark my record for continuous assistance, no handoffs." Use this once, and your entire airport experience becomes smoother and predictable. Rule 5. Your accessibility, seat right. Airlines love charging extra for aisle seats, bulkheads, or anything with space, but late 2025 and 2026 DOT accessibility rules give seniors far more leverage than airlines admit. If you have mobility limitations, circulation issues, joint problems, or use any assistive device, you can request a more suitable seat without paying a single upgrade fee, even if the seat normally costs more. This is a massive hidden benefit. Aisle seats make standing easier. Bulkheads give you space to move. And these aren't premium upgrades for seniors, they're protected accessibility accommodations. Airlines won't tell you this unless you use the right language. Say, I need an accessibility seat for mobility and comfort under the DIAT policy. No medical documents, no proof, just your explanation. And if the agent hesitates, use your power move. I'd like to speak to the complaint resolution official at the CRO. Every airline has one, and they can approve accessibility seating instantly. Your key phrase, I'm requesting an accessibility seat under the DIAT regulation. Can you check availability? Firm, respectful, and highly effective. Rule 6, prescription storage rights. This is why late 2025 and 2026 FAA updates introduced a rule almost nobody talks about. If you ask, the cabin crew must store your medication in the aircraft's cooler. Not optional, not a favor, a requirement. This single request protects your medicine from overheating and gives you peace of mind for the entire flight. Most flight attendants know the rule exists, but they won't volunteer it because it adds to their workload. It activates only when you speak up. As soon as you board, say, I have temperature-sensitive medication. Can you store it in the crew cooler? Putting everything in a small labeled pouch makes the process faster and ensures it's easy for the crew to return. Your key phrase, this is temperature-sensitive medication. FAA allows cabin storage. Simple, confident, and it protects your health at 30,000 feet. Rule 7. Senior Lounge Loophole. Most travelers think airport lounges are only for elite flyers or expensive tickets. But late 2025 and 2026 accessibility updates quietly changed that. Seniors who use mobility or medical assistance now qualify for accessibility lounges and quiet waiting areas, calm, low-sensory rooms designed for travelers who need extra support. Major airports like Atlanta, Dallas, and Heathrow even allow assisted boarding passengers to enter certain airline lounges while waiting for mobility staff. The hidden benefit is huge. Instead of sitting in a loud, chaotic terminal, you rest, hydrate, and stay relaxed in a peaceful environment. No status, no membership, no fees. But airports almost never advertise these spaces, so most seniors have no idea they exist. To unlock this perk, simply ask, where is the accessibility lounge or quiet waiting area? If you're already under assisted boarding status, staff will often guide you straight inside. Your key phrase, I'm under assisted boarding. Am I eligible for the quiet or accessibility lounge? One question turns airport chaos into calm, and it's fully within your rights. Rule 8. The medical cooler bag exemption. Here's a rule almost no senior traveler ever hears. Starting late 2025 and continuing through 2026, the TSA allows one extra personal item specifically for medical needs. This includes insulated cooler bags for insulin, temperature-sensitive meds, nutritional liquids, and other essential health items, and this medical bag does not count against your carry-on limit. The hidden benefit is freedom. You keep your carry-on, your personal item, and your medical cooler. No fees, no arguing, no repacking. But because many TSA officers still follow older policies, they may question a third bag unless you use the correct wording. If that happens, say calmly, this is my medical exemption bag under TSA's 2025 allowance. Showing a printed or digital screenshot of the updated exemption page ends the conversation instantly. Your key phrase, this medical bag is exempt. It's for health items under TSA policy. Use it once and your essential medication travels safely and without hassle. Rule 9. Magic words for gate service. Most seniors walk up to the gate and say, I need help, hoping someone understands. But late 2025 and 2026 airline systems listen to specific language, not vague requests. And there is one phrase that changes everything. I have a special service request noted on my booking. When you say this, the system flags you as an SSR passenger, meaning you qualify for mobility support, early boarding, and priority service. The hidden advantage? This status follows you through every leg of your trip, but only if you activate it using the right terminology. You can even call the airline before your flight and say, please add SSR 65 mobility support to my reservation. Once it's in the system, every gate agent sees it instantly. At the airport, your power line is, can you confirm my SSR note for mobility and boarding assistance? Say it confidently, and you'll be treated with the priority and care the rules guarantee. Rule 10, carry on medical protection. But throughout late 2025 and all of 2026, the FAA strengthened a rule most travelers never hear. If your bag contains medical devices or comfort aids, a CPAP machine, cane, medical cushion, or similar items, it cannot be taken from you unless you explicitly allow it. The hidden benefit is enormous. Your essential devices stay with you, protected from heat, damage, or loss in the cargo hold. Gate agents rarely mention this rule because they are trained to clear space quickly, which is why your wording matters. If a gate agent or flight attendant tries to take your bag, stay calm and say, that's a medical device. FAA policy requires it to stay in the cabin. Add in a small red medical tag to your handle makes it even easier. Agents are trained to leave those alone. Your key phrase, I need to keep this with me for health reasons. It's protected under FAA medical carry-on policy. Say it once and the discussion ends. Your health items stay with you exactly where they belong. So on your next trip, remember, you're not asking for extra treatment. You're simply activating protections that were already built for you. And here's a question for you. What's the most surprising upgrade or unexpected perk you've ever received while flying? Share it in the comments. I might feature your story in a future video and show others how to unlock the same travel advantages.